All right, welcome back everyone to our For Bartow video series. We're excited to be joined today by John Zegers, who is the Northwest Georgia Regional Manager for the Georgia Manufacturing Extension Partnership out of Georgia Tech. So welcome, John, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Great to be here.
Not only is John and his team available to Bartow County residents in the entire region, we're fortunate to have him on the call today, but I think it's worthy of mentioning too that they have offices right in our Chamber of Commerce. So we share space, and that is a valuable resource for our manufacturers here because you're so conveniently available to meet with manufacturers year round on various aspects of business for manufacturing.
That's right. We're very, very happy to be residents in the Cartersville Chamber of Commerce building. Like you said, close by to help anyone in the region, in the 15-county region, and especially right here in Bartow County. That's
fantastic. All right. Well,
we miss being in the office with you.
I know. One of these days, we're going to be back to that, hopefully very soon.
Yep.
So for purposes of today, we're going to focus on, of course, how the MEP can help manufacturers, particularly through this time of COVID-19. It's important to note, as we've kind of already alluded to, your services are available throughout the year, and there are various aspects of that. But let's focus in on what kind of those big questions are for manufacturers today in today's environment. And let just start there. How are you available to help our manufacturers right now?
Well, we've developed a web page on our Georgia MEP website dedicated to the COVID-19 pandemic with lots of different resources, and I'm going to be referring to that web page throughout this interview today. It's gamep.org/coronavirus, but when you pull up the web page, that will be the first page that comes up. Click on that, and then you'll see a list of different resources on that page, much of which I'm going to discuss today.
Perfect. Okay, fantastic. Well, and there are a lot of questions, of course, around, that is a great resource. I've looked at that website. There's so much information there. So why don't we start with the financial side of things? That's a big question for everybody. And we really haven't touched on manufacturing specifically. So talk about some of the financial assistance that's available.
Absolutely. On the georgiamep.org web page, the coronavirus page, we have a tab that's Economic and Financial Relief tab. That's the title. It has got a link to different state and federal resources, including a small business guide to the CARES Act, which is very important and relevant during this time. So there's good information on that tab. Also, another tab I want you to look for regarding financial aid assistance and information is on the past webinar tabs. Actually, currently going on right now is a financial aid for manufacturers and small business webinar. So that will be, by the time this is broadcasted, that will be on the past webinar page. And there'll be very good information on that, as well as a webinar we did last week that we call Lean Recovery. And that's really about how to weather the storm as we get through the next few weeks, as well as how to come out prepared for the future, whatever that may look like for you. That's another good resource. A final resource I definitely want to mention, we have so many great partners in the state, but when it comes to the financial aid for manufacturers, the Georgia Department of Labor website, dol.georgia.gov. That website, under the Spotlights section, is CARES Act information tab. And again, that is straight from the federal government, and that's the official place to get your information regarding the CARES Act at the DOL website.
That's perfect.
Great resources for manufacturers regarding financial aid.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Now, John, one clarification here that I think will be important for our manufacturers. Can they just call you? There's a lot of resources that are out there, and I know sometimes people will just need to ask a question. They've looked through, they don't understand, or they need a little clarification. Is that an appropriate mechanism, is to reach out to your team to talk through some of those things as well?
Absolutely. We're all working in partnership here. I'm available anytime for any questions for any manufacturers in the region. My phone number, I'll give it right here, 404-435-9124. Also, my email address, please email me anytime, john.zegers@innovate.godtech.edu. So I don't know if you can put that information out there, Cindy, but certainly I'm available to help with any kind of questions, and oftentimes just lead you in the right direction to the right resources, and sometimes partner up with some other resources to get some things done.
Fantastic. Well, and the one thing you mentioned too is the kind of the recovery plan. And I think that's important for people to start thinking now. I know from the sources that I'm receiving, that's where we are right now. We really need to start thinking about recovery and what those plans look like internally for organizations, as well as in our sense, a broader community recovery plan. So it's not too soon to start thinking about that. We may be a little bit bogged down in the moment, but we've got to start thinking beyond COVID-19. So I love the fact that you have resources and tools available to jumpstart the thought process and the thinking. And I think that's something that all manufacturers need to be thinking about utilizing right now specifically.
Absolutely. This kind of downtime for some is not downtime for others. So this is not your typical economic downturn that you see where everyone is kind of feeling the same pain. A lot of people are feeling that pain and have laid off workers, and a lot of people are working as hard as they can and nonstop. So that future state is different for everyone. So it really takes a lot of planning and a lot of introspective view to really look at what your situation is and what it's going to look like coming out on the other end. So again, the webinar we did on lean recovery touches on a lot of that, and there's some good thoughts in there about how to look at your operation. And certainly we have resources in our Georgia MEP group that can help walk you through that as well. But you're right, during any kind of downtime, if that's the situation you're in, it's a great time to plan for the future, to be more. We're all about lean and efficiencies. So a webinar that we have on Thursday this week is about 6S, which is, for those that know, 5S plus safety. It's about how to really have a lean environment and an environment that's going to help you be very efficient in the way you operate. And now, if you have some downtime, is a great time to really get your ducks in a row and get ready to face the upswing that will come.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you making those webinars available as recordings too, just in case there's some conflicts in time.
Sure.
I want to make sure we touch on worker safety as well, because of course manufacturing is so specific. Usually we're talking about a larger number of employees working in a particular facility. So what types of tips or advice do you have for worker safety?
So that's one of those questions I think that's probably on the top of every manufacturer's mind, is how do we keep our workers safe? We want them here working. Some of them, if that's the case, or others, we want a safe environment when they return. So what can we do? And what are the standards? What are the new standards? What's the best practices? So again, on our Georgia MEP website, we have a tab, a safety and health tab. And on there's a couple things, but one in particular I want to talk about. First of all, there's several links to state and federal resources that are constantly being updated. CDC, World Health Organization, and other COVID-19 frequently asked questions page. So we have a lot of good information and links there. But the first bullet point under that safety and health tab is about the Georgia Tech OSHA consultation program. Georgia MEP is partnering with the Georgia Tech OSHA program to offer free virtual meetings for manufacturers. So this, like I said, is free, and it's to help, and it's virtual, so no one's going into anyone's place, and it's one-on-one, so it's very specific to that manufacturer, but it'll cover a lot of different points, specifically how to develop an infectious disease preparedness response plan, strategies for business continuity, a very important one, guidance on effective disinfection strategies for manufacturing plants, and then other recommended resources. But also, even more importantly, those manufacturers can ask questions pressing to their specific situation to our OSHA consultation group and get those responses right there in real time. So again, that first bullet point under the safety and health tab, at the bottom of that description of the program is a link to register for that. And you just go on that and register directly with the OSHA program at Georgia Tech, and we'll contact you and set that meeting up.
Fantastic.
That's been a very, very valuable resource. And we've noticed that the companies that have already set up and had consultations, that they have very specific questions that they want answered. So you may think, I don't need all that other stuff, I just have some specific stuff, and that's fine as well. We're here to help in any way we can. Perfect.
Well, I know that you are working very closely with, again, Bartow manufacturers as well as manufacturers throughout the region. You've been an incredible resource for us, providing a lot of information. So I just want to, again, highly encourage manufacturers who are watching this, and we'll get this, make sure this gets in the right hands, to reach out, whatever that is, reach out and let's have conversations. That's why these organizations like both of ours exist, is because we're here to help year-round, but specifically in times like this. So John, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you imparting that knowledge, and certainly want to send people to that website so that they get a little bit better feel of all the services and resources that are available, and then encourage them to reach out to you directly for deeper questions to be answered.
Absolutely. Cindy, one more thing. We still need help from manufacturers. We have new requests for medical supplies every day. So on that web page at the bottom, there's a box that says call for aid. And if you think you can help out in any way, providing medical supplies or be a supply chain for some of those materials, we would love for you to sign up, and we'll get you on the list and see where you might be able to help out. We've got a great response. I'm very proud of the manufacturing community here in Georgia, and specifically in Northwest Georgia. And they've been great in helping out the situation.
Yes, that is so true. I know we
across the state. Yeah.
Yes, we have some local folks who are doing some great things as well. So that's a great opportunity for people to take advantage of. So
that's right.
All right, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.